Hello and welcome to Malikah's well. Eat some food, turn on tank stance, wait for your team to finish their cutscenes. Let's go! First pull, only 3 dudes right here at the entrance. That's going to be your ranged attack, provoke ranged attack. We don't need to use arm's length here because we're not going too far. And then we're going to pull these last 3 dudes here and use our AoE attack to get aggro. I'm going to go ahead and use all of my cooldowns here because this is a lot of dudes. There we go. Okay, so we have used all of our cooldowns. We have aggro on everything, and this is technically a wall-to-wall pull. It's just the first pull in the game. You can either do it, just the first 3 and then the next set, or you can do what I did and just pull them all together. Watching my health here, it's getting very low. I'm going to super. Didn't like how low that was getting. He went ahead and benedictioned me, so that was good. So we should be just fine. This next pull, you could wall-to-wall this, but I'm going to get these guys a little bit weak first, just because our white mage is a little bit rusty, he said in the beginning of the dungeon, and I also don't have the best gear for this. This is a level 78 dungeon, and most of my gear is level 70, so we'll take it easy here. But if you wanted to, you could wall-to-wall, because the other wall is just right there. It's not too far. But we'll play it safe, understanding what our own capabilities are based on the gear that we're wearing, as well as the capabilities of our teammates, will help ensure that we get to the end without dying. Royal Cupbearer, you can just go ahead and pull this in with the other guys because I have my cooldowns back now. Diving in, immediately using an AoE attack just to pick up aggro. And I'll go ahead and use all of my cooldowns here because this is the last pull before the boss. And here we are at the first boss, the Greater Armadillo. We'll go ahead and dive in. I'm going to pull him all the way back over here to the edge, and I'm going to face him away from my party. And I'll begin using my single target cooldowns. Not much that you have to do differently here as a tank. Everything from this point is going to be pretty standard in this fight. All you're really doing is making sure that you're dodging the mechanics that do attack you accordingly. Here we have a stack mechanic, so we'll all just gather together here. Dodging AoE attacks and then getting back into position. Get as far away from the center as possible when you see the pulsing purple circle in the middle. And then we are... we lost a ninja. Oh, no, we didn't. The ninja's alive. We're doing okay. I am a little bit low on health here. I'm going to go ahead and use Rampart and another defensive cooldown. When the adds spawn, your job as the tank is to pick them up so they attack you. And we do that by selecting them, using the ranged attack. I then pressed tab and used my provoke. And I'm going to continue single targeting the boss here. I don't need to bring down the adds. That's the DPS's job. Heals are feeling a bit light. Going to continue to use defensive cooldowns as we go through this fight. We are only half done. Okay, so as you can see here, we are level 77, and that person still is not aware that that is a stack mechanic. I'll remind them here in just a moment. Always amazes me how people can get this far into the game and not understand how the mechanics work. That's kind of the reason why I made those mechanics videos. Gosh, I'm gonna die. Part of the reason why I made those mechanics videos is because I did notice that lots of people just don't understand what the mechanics are. So maybe check those out. I do talk about stack markers in those videos. Getting away from the center. He'll jump into the middle. We can dash in and then avoid to stand in the safe areas, and that's it. This boss is dead. I think our... Oh, there's the ninja. I thought the ninja disconnected. I was looking at the party window here. There he is. All right. AoE attack to start this next pull. We'll go ahead and bring it over here because once these get low, there will be ads that are going to spawn here. So we'll just keep an eye out, zooming all the way out with our camera and ensuring that there's no ads attacking our teammate. He did cast this. Let's pull everything back into here. Healers appreciate that when you notice them using their AoE attacks, or I'm sorry, their AoE heals. Go ahead and use those to your advantage. It just makes life a little bit easier. Okay, I was mistaken there. I thought there were going to be ads, but there weren't. Just 3 trash mobs. Haven't been here in a while. All ledges must be jumped 360'd off of as a friendly reminder. We'll go ahead and ranged attack, provoke, ranged attack, pressing tab each time. And then there is a patrol here. I'm going to go ahead and pull him now and get everything together, and this is as far as I'm going to pull, and I'm also going to use all of my cooldowns. Again, the reason that I'm doing that is because I know that our white mage is a little rusty, and also my gear is not the best for this zone. So even if you get into zones where maybe you've fallen behind on gear, or maybe you don't have the poetics to buy your next set, or whatever it is, you can still play in these dungeons. You just have to be a little bit more careful with your pulling. I'm not sure why the ninja died there. I haven't lost aggro on anything. I think maybe they're standing in the AoEs. I might have to super again here. Lots of AoE dodging. So I'm not going to lie, this is a pretty rough run so far. I'm going to switch to single target abilities for the cupbearer here. And that is exactly why I didn't wall-to-wall pull this. It is possible to bring that pull to this pull, but the reason I separated it is because of what I've seen so far. Like, I'm making a decision in real time to say, okay, this is not where we want to pull, because if we do that, if we pull those 2 packs together, we would have easily wiped there. So making that decision based off of what we're seeing just prevented a wipe. And I'm not trying to like toot my own horn here. I'm just trying to like give some insight into how I'm thinking about tanking these dungeons. Jump 360 off the ledge. And we are at the second boss. One of the easier bosses for this stage in the game. We will make sure that our party is here. I'm not sure what our ninja is doing, but we will wait patiently. There they are. Excellent. Turning the boss around here is not super critical because he's going to go into the middle and do these spin AoE attacks. So just keep that in mind. This isn't huge. He'll move to the middle and do an AoE attack, and then after he does that, we're going to dash into him. And we're going to stay on his back. So right now, we actually didn't need to use a defensive cooldown here, because as long as we stay on him, he won't be able to attack us. So we don't need defensive cooldowns here. So we know he's going to be rotating clockwise, so we're just going to stay on his back clockwise. Okay, somebody else has died. FFXIV is a tank buster, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Rampart ability in response to seeing that ability. I apologize if I mispronounced it. I mispronounced everything in this game if you haven't been able to tell. There's FFXIV again. I'm going to use another defensive ability. And I'm doing that to help my healer out because I know that my healer is struggling. There's people that are dying. It's been pretty rough here. So we're about half done with this fight, and you've seen all of the mechanics so far. We are going to get shoved out from here. And then after the shove out, we can just dash right back in. Actually, I like doing that. I think that's kind of fun. And again, looks like we're going clockwise, so we will... I use the defensive ability again out of habit and didn't need to. So we're just going to stay on his back and continue doing our single target rotation. And then again, bringing him back over here. You're kind of seeing the pattern now. There was Ephes again. I did miss that one, but it's okay. The healer should be able to heal through that. There it is again, and I was a little bit late on my cooldown because I was concentrating on my rotation. But that happens. It's not the end of the world. You can see my healer is at 86% mana, so we're okay. This time I'm not going to use a defensive ability. I've engaged in a process called learning. Staying on the boss's back and continuing our rotation, and then bringing him back here again. DPS is very low. This should have been dead a while ago. Ephes is there. I'll use Rampart in response. Rampart stays up for another 16 seconds, so if he does it again, it's fine. These next two pulls you can combine with these three right here. I am going to go ahead and use a couple of defensive cooldowns. And I do have super back up, so I will keep it... Oh, I should have dodged that. That's my mistake. I'll keep an eye on if I need to use super or not. I think I might need to. Dodging the AoE and continuing to use my own AoE attacks. See, so this ninja used Doton over here, and that is not smart. There's no reason to use Doton when you're not even on the mobs. I was tanking them over there, and they used it over here, which is super weird. So I'm going to go ahead and bring them over here. I'm going to super... Oh, God, we did it. Okay. We supered. Hopefully we can get healed up now. Got that for another 6 seconds. But I was saying that the ninja put their AoE attack in the wrong spot. Lots of mistakes happening here. So, as we haven't wiped yet, but there have been deaths, and this has not really been a smooth run. But the reason we haven't wiped is because we are tanking this correctly. We're pulling correctly. We're using our cooldowns correctly. We're not over-pulling. And this is the last section before the boss. I would normally pull these things together, these two and these three, but I'm not going to do that because this group worries me. There's no other way around it. This group worries me. So we're going to take it slow. I have a feeling, I'm going to say it right now, the last boss is going to be really hard. Slow is safe, safe is fast. Picking up aggro on the last two forgiven indecencies. And then we'll just bring them on down nice and slow. Dodging the AoE attacks. Still using single target abilities, not our AoE attacks. And we are done with the trash and the bosses in this dungeon. We are now on to the last boss. Party signs, put a 1. All ledges must be jumped 360 to off of, and we will wait patiently for everyone. Follow me if you don't know where to go. Pulling the boss and turning it around, and beginning our single target rotation. Standing in front of the white balls to avoid damage. As you can see, no one followed me. So I have a feeling when we have to do the rotation, we're going to go in now. In. Okay. So our team is not following me. I'm doing the very best that I can to help these new folks out, but they are not following me. We're going to avoid the AoE attacks, and we are going to stand in front of the white balls. And it looks like everyone's dead. Standing in front of the white balls again. There we go. And then to end, we do that. So as I predicted earlier, this is going wonderfully. We are attempting to resurrect. It is not a lost cause yet. We can still do it. This is one of the harder bosses in the game, which is why I put that sign over my head, which is why I said to my party, please follow me. So we are trying the very best that we can to help out our other players. Getting low on health, I'll go ahead and use 2 defensive abilities here. We are missing the ninja, so that is why this is happening. It's going to take a very long time to bring this boss down. Going in, there you go. So it looks like our ninja disconnected here. Nope, the ninja is back. Okay, the fight is half over, and every mechanic that is going to happen has happened, so it's just a recycle bin at this point. But we are still white on the struggle bus right now. I think the ninja's back. I still only see 3 of us. Oh, the ninja died and released. That's what happened. So when you die in a boss fight, don't release. So the ninja is just sitting on the outside watching us do this because they released. Using some defensive abilities here because I'm not getting healed. There we go. Standing in front of the white balls. Again, standing in front of the white balls. Moving over here, in front. Whoops, that was my mistake. Right here, in front of the white balls. One more rotation in front of this one here. Last rotation in front of this one. I don't understand what's so hard about follow me. Our white mage is running low on mana. He's at 40%, so I'm going to continue to use my defensive abilities to try to make things a little bit easier for him. And at long last, after one of the longest dungeons that I have run in a long time, we have ended the fight. I'm not gonna lie, everyone here was not very good. I don't even really want to do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Some friendly advice to end with. I'm not sure why that ninja released during that fight. So there were a lot of issues that happened during that dungeon, right? We had someone that was rusty on their white mage. We had me that didn't have the best gear available. We had someone that was doing the dungeon for the first time, not really keeping up with the group. We also had folks that were not following advice or instructions. And that's the thing that I think is important to talk about, is that my expectation is not that every person in the game knows every fight every time, right? Like that's not the expectation at all. But if your tank is giving you advice and saying like, hey, I'm putting a sign over me, follow me, it's, you know, this is how this works, then at that point I kind of feel like you should be following the instructions of someone that is giving you the advice. It's to everybody's benefit, but unfortunately we had some folks that were either unable or unwilling to do so. So that ends a very tough run through Malikah's well. We did not wipe, but it did take a very long time to get through. And it doesn't really need to be that way. I think that dungeon probably took us about 10 minutes longer than it should have. And that last fight in particular took a very long time to bring down. But we made it through. So hopefully this video was helpful and useful to you. It is good to see tanking in less than optimal circumstances. So if that wasn't helpful for you, I'm sorry. I thought that was going to be a good way to kind of show those things. Hopefully there's another video on the channel that you might get some use out of. Either way, that is going to do it for this one, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!